Hello and welcome to Simple Scotch Reviews. Here we have Macallan 12 Double Cask. It's a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey bottled at 43% ABV here in the United States. I believe everywhere else it is at 40% ABV. It is natural color. For those that's an important factor to, definitely consider that. So this whiskey is matured in sherry casks. They season both European oak and American oak with sherry before filling them. What I will say is that the main difference between the other Macallan 12s is the sherry oak is just European oak. This includes American oak that's seasoned with sherry, and also the Macallan 12 triple cask includes these two types, but it also includes bourbon casks. So let's take a look at this one here. I've spent some time taking the time to get to know this one. Right away you get this vanilla note. Vanilla, and it's kind of distinctly butterscotch. I'd initially thought it might be caramel, but it's definitely a butterscotch note. So right away, the nose jumped out to me of reminding me of Macallan Edition 3. I also did a review of Edition 3. It's on the channel if you want to check that out. The nose doesn't have the floral element that I'm remembering as I went through that bottle of Edition 3. But that butterscotch and vanilla note. And I mean, as I recall, the Edition 3 did include American oak, so that might be where the similarity comes from. Vanilla, I get a very, very faint hint of maple. So right away, the main difference, a lot of you are going to want to compare this to the Macallan 12 sherry oak, the main one. So I'm not getting that rich, deep fruit that I get in the sherry oak. It's still sherry oak, obviously American and European oak, but I don't get those dark plum type raisin fruits in this one as much. I do get honey in the nose as well. So in the nose of this one, honey, vanilla, butterscotch. There might be a hint of those fruits, but to me, definitely the fruit takes a back seat in this one. Whereas in the 12 sherry, it plays a much more prominent role. So when I took some time getting to know this one, trying with water amplified that vanilla note when I had added water. There's nothing wrong with it, nothing off-putting at all in the smell. I'll say that I did make a note that it's like a fruit coating to the vanilla and other flavors. The fruit just doesn't at all assert itself to me. Honey, vanilla. I get a citrus note, like an orange note. Honey and vanilla. There is a tiny bit of that floral note. There's a floral note, but I don't get a floral note on the nose of this one. Just on the flavor. Definitely baking spice. So let's see, one more here. Yep, honey, vanilla, floral note, baking spice, orange. There's some fruit, but the fruit, oddly enough, isn't that, again, it's not that raisin plum, that just dark, rich red fruit. Or even a berry flavor. It's more of a, I want to say like a pear, but one of those types of fruits. It's definitely not that dark, what I think of as dark fruits like the plum and berry flavors I can get in some other Macallans. When I spent some time with water as well, it's got the baking spice, and again I noted that when compared to the sherry oak, that rich fruit is lacking. Fruit takes a back seat in this one, and the types of fruits I do get aren't the types that I get in Macallan 12 Sherry Cask. Nothing off-putting again. It's different than Sherry Cask, and obviously because it's not a re-release of the same Macallan 12 Sherry Oak, it's gonna be different. So nothing wrong with it. Just I was expecting, since it did have some similarities with that 12, the regular 12, I thought that it might have more of those dark fruits. And looking at some other people's reviews, they got those flavors more, so I was kind of surprised that I didn't pick them up. I was expecting Macallan 12 Sherry Oak with a little bit of difference. Honestly, I was thinking Macallan 12 Sherry Cask with maybe a little bit of vanilla. And there's definitely vanilla, but it's not what I expected, but not bad either. Let's get to the finish of this one. It is a long finish, I'll say. So for me, those baking spice notes kick in on the back end of the palate, and then you're left with vanilla, baking spice. The orange carries over as well in the back end of the palate. But in that long, drawn-out finish, what it fades to is just a bitter oak note. Not a bad thing. It's not like, ugh, this is a bad flavor in my mouth. It's just not. I was hoping some of the other notes would extend longer along with that bitter oak flavor just to kind of balance it out. But either way, it's a long finish, and it's not bad at all. Overall, I'm putting this one in a definitely try it category. It's definitely something different from Macallan 12 Sherry Oak. If you felt like there was too much of those sherry fruit flavors in the 12 Sherry Oak, this is definitely one you want to hop on and try. If you like Macallan Edition 3 or the Macallan Fine Oak series, try this one out. I think these are more similar to that than the 12 Sherry Oak. But either way, in terms of prices are different everywhere. The difference between the double cask, the triple cask, and the 12 Sherry Oak is different everywhere. Here, I believe it's about a $10 difference. This one being $10 cheaper than the Sherry Oak right now. I personally would still gravitate to the Sherry Oak, but if you haven't tried it, especially if you like Macallan, give it a try. I didn't come into this with any kind of preconceived notion of Macallan hate. I enjoy Macallan. I do recognize that many of them are overpriced, but overall, it's a good release for Macallan. Definitely on the must-try category. Must-try for, I'll qualify that with, must-try for Macallan drinkers and those that liked Edition 3. It's must-try. But otherwise, I'd recommend it. It's good. Not bad, but it's not, you need to go out and buy this one right away. It's awesome. It's not in that category at all. So definitely check out the channel, subscribe, more reviews coming all the time. There's lots of reviews on there. There's Irish whiskey, Scotch, single malt and blended Scotch, and there's going to be some other reviews coming up with American whiskey, Canadian whiskey. I believe Canadian whiskey is already up as well, but take a look. They'll be coming up soon. If you subscribe, you'll get notified. Thanks for watching.